Could this ever happen in India, or will our past remain forever shrouded in secrecy? Let's get straight into the debate. Let me start with General V.K. Singh, whose own book landed himself in court. Sir, what sense do you make of the paranoia, really, in a sense, that the government and our official agencies seem to have? You've served in RANW. Why do you think they were so scared of your book?
Well, I don't really know why they were scared of the book, but the word you used is very apt.
Paranoid.
They are literally paranoid. And like I mentioned somewhere, even Tea Party circulars are graded secret.
Tea Party circulars are graded secret?
Yes, in RAW. You know,
really? What happens at these tea parties?
I mean, they are like, you know, you can say farewell parties. Everybody retires on the last day of the month.
Yeah.
So on the last working day, we normally have a little tea party to bid him farewell.
Huh.
And the circular which you get is secret. Now, talking about this MI5 thing, you know, you must sort of note one thing. They also have an legislation, like we have a Right to Information Act.
Yeah.
They have a Freedom of Information Act. And that exempts the intelligence agencies.
So this is actually an initiative that the MI5 has taken themselves.
The fact is that MI5, in spite of being exempted, has taken this initiative, and they've given access to a Cambridge scholar, and partly it is due, one of their old directors about 10 years back was Stephen Lander. He happened to have studied history in Cambridge, and he was the one who started this process.
Well, it's fascinating, but it runs completely counter to how we would approach national secrets. Ajay, your experience in trying to access some of these old classified files?
Yeah, I'm working on a book right now on probably one of India's most holy cows, the Sino-Indian frontier in Afghanistan. And when I went to the National Archives, I mean, I'm smiling, but it's really quite outrageous. It's also laughable. Every document after 1914 is classified as secret and cannot be accessed. And the documents before 1914 have been declassified, but there's a letter saying don't let anybody see them. So they're in the national...
They're sitting there.
They're sitting there.
So probably the librarians read them all.
The librarian has no time. There's a staff of 2.5 people over there. They run around with storerooms full of files over there. Nobody to look after the files. Just a sort of overarching sense of paranoia over there that don't let anybody see it.
So what is it? Is it just a habit that doesn't change, or are there some good reasons for this, you think?
Well, I'll tell you, we spoke to a very senior officer in the Ministry of External Affairs, and he says, listen, we want to declassify these files, but we have nobody who can read through all these files and sort of decide which of the files we can declassify. So therefore, based on the off chance that a 1914 file has something that could endanger national security today,
nobody knows what's happening. Let me take that to Admiral Raja Menon. Admiral Menon, none of the wars, for example, even the old wars, there's no information available on what happened or didn't happen. Or let's take something like how Lal Bahadur Shastri actually died in Russia. Someone actually filed an RTI application. The Prime Minister's office turned that down. Now, isn't this a bit farcical, or are there any legitimate reasons for keeping all this wrapped up in secret?
No, I saw how papers have been classified over 30 years in the Navy, and I also spent 2 or 3 years in a civilian government office after retirement. And I want to say one or two things. One is, the average civilian officer does not know the rules for classification. General V.K. Singh is right. I also got a circular for a tea party which was marked secret. This is criminal. And the reason why things are over-classified is because in most government offices, these classified papers are not handled according to the rules.
Tuba.com